Hello. So in this chapter, we're going to be talking about Python exceptions. So Python program terminates as soon as it encounters error. So despite the fact that you might have written a big line of code or lines of codes, right? As soon as an error is being detected, it terminates the program. So an error can actually be a syntax error or an exception error. So what is a syntax error? So a syntax error occurs whereby whereby the code does not really conform to the rules or the syntax of the programming language. Let me, for example, it could be an indentation error whereby you didn't indent properly, or it could be a missing punctuation, or it could be a missing quote. So this is what syntax error is. So let's go to our VS Code and see for ourselves. So I already created a file. I called it py dot what. I'm going to clear this guy terminal. I called it py error dot py. So I would come here, and then this is a syntax, right? So let me say mistakenly I put this here, right? And then save it. So if I come here and then run the code, sorry, cd python. So if I come here and say py, right? So it's giving me what? Syntax error. Hope you can see my terminal properly. It's telling me what? Unmatched. That means I have what? I have what? An incorrect, like an unmatched quote attached to this, which initially when I even wrote it said it showed red, showing that there is what? There is an error here. So this is what syntax error. You can still have indentation error. Let me say you come here and then I pass in a function. I say for pass in a function, I create a function, call it file, and then I'll come here and say print passing x here, print passing 5 for x. So are you seeing here? It's telling me syntax error, that here I omitted this. Not only that I omitted this, I'm going to save this and I'm going to come here and still run the code. Come in here to run the code. It's telling me indentation error. So I have an indentation error. So this is what syntax error is all about. So what about an exception error? Because we said an error could either be syntax or exceptions. So exception in programming in Python is it happens during the execution of a particular line of code or your program, and this disrupts the normal flow. It could be so exceptions are actually used to signal errors or unexpected conditions that need special handling. So we use in exception, we use so many we have ways of handling what? Of handling exceptions. First of all, one of the ways we could use in handling exceptions, we have um ways. Ways is an example of how we could handle an exception. So let's show us how to do this. So I have here, I'm going to comment this guy out. I have here a function. I would call it divide numbers. All right, num. And then inside this, I'll pass parameters A and B. I would and then indent. And this say if B equal to 0, I will then pass an exception, raise value error. Raise value error. So this is value error. This is the error I am passing, because we said initially that we use it to handle special handling, like to. So I'm going to now see the passing parenthesis, right? The divisor b, right? The divisor b can not be 0. So I'm going to use single quote here and the single quote here. So the divisor 0 cannot be what? Cannot be 0. Return what? A over B. So we said we want to pass in a raise what? We want to pass in the raise exception. Then we would say we'll say try, right? I would say result, let's say result equal to div num, right? I'll pass in, I want to pass in, we said we want to raise a value error, and the value error will be divisor cannot be what? 0. So in case a user, you are trying to build a project and the user passes 0, it's going to throw this error. So I'm going to now come here and say accept value error as error. So I'm renaming this value error. You can pass it exactly the way it is, but I'm renaming it, and then say print value, print error. So let me say I have here 10 and 2, right? I have here 10 and 2, and then I come here and say print result, right? I'm going to save it and come here and run my code. So we seeing here we're having 5.0. So what if I come here, then I'm passing 0 as a user? I passing 0. So I would then come here and run this. So I did not save it, and then come here. So are you seeing it's erased what? Erased an exception saying the device of B cannot be what? Cannot be 0. So this is how erase exception is being used. We have another type of exception. We call it the assertion exception. Here we use assert to what? To write an exception error. So let me say, for example, I'm going to comment on this guy. I would say passing a function to, I call it positive numbers, use this guy, and then passing a parameter here x, and then I would say assert, right? Assert x greater than 0, then true an error. Number must be positive. So I will then come here. I would say try, right? Say try. I'll then come here and say, let me use the word result. I'll say equal to. I'll then say passing the function. I'll say positive number, right? And then come here too. And then I would come here and put my except and say except assertion error, right? And then as error, I'll then say print what? Print is almost the same syntax of writing it, right? Print error. So let me see here, here, I have print result, right? So let me see here, I passing minus, I pass in 2, right? Passing 2 and save it. Passing in and I'm assigning 2 to this parameter x. We said assert x is greater than 0. So any number from that is greater than 0 upwards. And we said that x must always be what? Must always be positive. So I would come here and put minus what? Minus 5, right? I'll save it. So are we seeing what we'll have here? Are we seeing what we'll have here? We have here number must be what? Must be what? Must be a positive number. So this is how um this is how assertion works. Assertion error works. You raised the error by yourself. So in case the the user adds a number that is a negative number, it's going to throw an assertion error saying what that the number what must be positive. So we have the try and accept block handling. So the try and accept block handling is used to catch and handle exceptions. So Python executes um, code following the try statement as normal part of the program, and the code that follows it is the except statement. We've done some examples, right? This is the normal what? This is the normal um what we call it normal error we are throwing, right? So this is where we use what? The try and accept. The try and accept is used to what? Is used to handle exceptions. So we are going to try this, try impute this, and then if it does not work, then throw the error. So this we've used both the raise and both the assertion error to show how this try and accept works. So we can still try and accept, right? You can just use try and accept ordinarily. Come here and then I would say try, right? Try, I would say num equal to, so input, I'll pass an input, then I'll say enter a number, and then I would say accept value error, what? As E, right? As E, right? Then I would say print error invalid input. Please enter a valid number. Valid number. So I'm going to come here because I'm expert. I'm going to cast this. Remember our casting? I'll cast this and put an int, right? To it by using the int constructor because I'm looking for numbers, integers. So I'm going to come here and save this guy here first. And then you said enter a number, right? I then enter 2. So it doesn't throw what? It doesn't throw. And I can come here and say print okay. I'll save it. I'll come back here again, enter a number. I'll say 2 to now tell me what okay or anything or successful, anything you want to pass in. So I want to now pass in, and let me say the user. What if the user of the app or anything you are building mistakenly pass in what something that is not the number? So it will throw this try and except is used in what handling all those exceptions. The type of exception is handling here is what a value error exception. So let me say here I run this code again. I would come here and say the right or root is telling me error invalid. Let me zoom this guy so you could see it properly. Telling me error invalid input. Please enter a what? A valid number. So this is how our try and try and accept works.